Joey Bada is on the show.
Pro Era, what's
up? Now, I mean, you make it. This is a transition from the minor leagues to the major leagues, man. This is it.
It feels good.
Album officially out, man.
Yes, sir.
Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's the name of the album?
Before the Money in stores Tuesday, man. You know, been working basically the last 3-4 years on this joint right here. This is my first official firstborn seed. You know, 1999 was like. The thought, 1999 was probably like my dog, my first pet. You know, it was like, you know, the process.
Still a big deal.
It's still a big deal. You know, it was like
it's real love.
Bull. It was a pit bull, or a Great Dane, if you will. You know, this is like, you know, my first baby.
So now, like your sound, if you're not familiar with Joey Badass and you claim to be hip hop, then you probably want to not claim that, because I would say that a lot of the blogs and the internet embraced you off that 1999 look. Right,
yes,
which was right around the time I started rattling everybody's cage with the minor leagues, major leagues, who deserves to be prime time, who doesn't, who's putting in the work, who's really putting out good music debate. And you've evolved since that moment as well, right? Like I know on I've heard some stuff from you from Static Selector. You got some things, but why do you see yourself as, and why is the brand so associated with 90s hip hop? Why is that your thing? Why is that what you're passionate about?
You know, like. I get these, like, you know, ever since I came out, you know, I've been getting these 90s comparisons and everything, you know. But, you know, to me, it's like, you know, it's never me trying to, you know, associate myself with the 90s or, like, you know, be a 90s rapper. Like, just me growing up and everything, like, the standard was set high for me. Like, you know, I was born in 1995, like, you know, smack in the middle. And, you know, my parents were avid music listeners, avid hip-hop listeners, you know. My mom listened to, like, so she set the standard for me at a really young age. Like, you know, it was Jay-Z, it was Biggie, Nas, Tupac. Like, in my household, those were, like, you know, the great MCs. Like, you feel me? That's what it was. Like, and that's what I was raised on. Like, that was the standard for rap set for me at a very early age. So, you know, I always was familiar with that, and that being, you know, traditional hip-hop. You feel me? I don't, like, you know, I don't consider it 90s, you know, of course 90s being the golden age of it all. You feel me? Where, like, a lot of people could say, like, you know, the realest hip-hop was made, and
some of the best
hip-hop was made, you feel me? Conceived and everything. So, like, you know, me being a newborn baby in 1995, you know, you got to understand, my most heightened sense was my hearing. You feel me? Like, I was, like, you know, immobile at this point. So the most I could do is just take in everything that I was listening to. And, you know, from being in the womb, from just being a small child, being in the car seat, you know, I was just listening. I was just taking this in, and, like, you know, it all basically fell into my subconscious. And when I basically grew up and I got older, you know, even when you see movies as a child and you grow up and you watch it again, you understand it differently. You know, you see different things about it. That was pretty much the same case with music for me. You know, when I got older and then I revisited these things and everything, it was just like, it hit me like an epiphany again and everything. And I identify that as what rap really is, you know, what that's traditional rap for me. You feel me? And basically when I started, you know, making 1999, when we formed Pro Era in 2011, 2012, what we realized in the game, like, you know, what we loved about hip hop so much, we didn't see in the game. So we basically decided to become the change that we wanted to see.
That's dope.
Also, one of the things I think that's exciting about Joey in this album, Before the Money, which is out Tuesday, is he is I look at him sort of as the first fully grown child of the hip hop that we loved, right? And this is his debut album. This is a kid who drove around to Jay, Nas, and Big.
That's what his parents were riding around.
When the first time he told me that, it was the first time we ever met in the studio that night, in Shipe's studio. And you said, oh, I was like, we were talking about his age, and he said, my mom was listening to Big. I was like, your mom was listening to Big. I mean, first of all, his mom's like my age, first of all, and very cool.
Wait, how old are you, Joey?
I'm 19, about to be turning 20 on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I forgot. And we have the birthday party, release party that day. Where is that? What's our venue?
Verboten.
Is that right, Shipes?
That's how you say it, right?
In Brooklyn. And Funk Flex, myself.
That's tight.
It's gonna be a great time that night. DJ Enough. But you have this kid who grew up in basically the shadows of Marcy Projects, right? Where Jay's from. And grew up on that music, and now this is his contribution to the game. I think it's exciting to see what this music out of New York is going to sound like come Tuesday. How confident are you in how this debut is going to be received?
Very confident. You know, I have no doubts whatsoever. You feel me? I know I put my all into this, and what this album has taught me, like, you know, one of the main lessons is that as long as you love what you're doing, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Like, you know, this is the album, this is the project where I'm surrounded by, like, you know, a whole bunch of people who's holding expectations over my head. When I made, like, you know, 99, for example, it was just me surrounded by the four corners of my room. My only critic was myself. And I'm going to keep it that way, you know? Just being, if I love it, like, you know, that's all that matters, you know? Because essentially I make the music for myself. Only thing for the people is the message. And as long as I got the message straight and I know it's positive, then, you know, I'm good.
Do you still live with your parents, or you said your room?
Me and my mom.
You still live with your mom?
Yeah.
At the mom, and how do your parents feel about your music? Like, you play it for your mom?
Yeah. You know, my mom is a big supporter. Like, you know, one of my biggest supporters. And yeah, she loves everything that I got to say. You know, like, she raised me right, so she know that I'm not gonna be out here, like, you know, saying anything that I'm not supposed to, or anything that, you know, she wouldn't necessarily like.
You know what we should do, Breeze? We should play Curry Chicken.
Okay.
Oh yeah, let's join LA.
It was one of the first songs. One of the critiques that I had about Joey at first was like, "Where's the music about you? Who's Joey Badass? We know you can rap."
Because it was just rhymedy rhymes to rappity rap.
It wasn't just rhymedy rhymes.
It wasn't just rhymedy rhymes.
And I got an issue with you guys.
All right, we'll talk about that.
Well, because you know me, I was hard on you from the rip. I was like, he's rhymedy rhyming. It's cool. It's cute.
Right.
You know,
I mean, you know, that's to the people who's not really listening.
Now listen.
I'm lazy on the listen.
No, there's a whole nother level.
I'm lazy.
Let me put it this way. Him and Shawnee Culture could talk for like 24 hours straight. He's all about the third eye. Yeah. He's got really deep ish in there. But in terms of the average fan being able to hear it very easily, I love Curry Chicken because it's a mother-son story. And really, the Joey Badass story, in my opinion, is a mother-son story. Wow. And it's a Brooklyn mother-son story I think a lot of people will appreciate.
So let's get the record on right now. Ebro in the morning. Right now. Laura Stylez, you got some things you want to talk to Joey Badass
You know,
about.
I want to talk to you about the famous Malia Selfie. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about
he acting like it's nothing. That the
yeah. Look like he was like, all right, whatever. I have some other stuff too that I'm curious about. That's nothing.
It's Hot 97. We'll do that next. It's Curry Chicken off that album Before the Money. Joey Badass. It's on sale Tuesday. And Joey Badass in the room. Brooklyn's own. Support this dude, man. He's been building. How long, you said again? How long you really, since 99 came out?
99 came out June 12th, 2012.
So it's a good 2.5 years that you've been building.
Yes,
and
sir.
you know, a lot of fans, like you're touring. You've been touring almost straight for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Like you stay on tour.
That. I just got off a world tour, actually.
What countries?
I did the whole U.S., you know, in one run. Then I went over to Europe, another run, and then just recently came home from Australia.
Now the music that you grew up with and that your parents listened to, the Big, the Hove, you know, that classic golden era Brooklyn stuff. I'm sure you feel like music today is way off base from that.
Nah, and I wouldn't say way off base, but like, you know, back when Nas said hip hop was dead in like 2006, I feel like, you know, we've come a long way from there. Like, you know, that was more than 6 years ago. That's like 9 years ago, you feel me? And from there, it's like we've been like, you know, it's been coming back. Like, the only thing about this game is it needs balance. You feel me? And it's been imbalanced for a while. I still feel like it's still more imbalanced on the watered down side of it, you know.
You know, a lot of people, we talk about the history and the golden era of hip hop and Hot 97 and the changes Hot 97. I mean, you look at some of the things that Jay and even Big and even Nas have made over the years that were their big radio smashes.
Right.
Those aren't the quintessential things we love about those artists, but they made records that became top 40 hits.
Yeah.
Big rhyming over a disco record, More Money, More Problems.
Right.
Or, you know, Hove rhyming over a Broadway classic like Annie as a break or whatever, right? Do you see yourself going in that direction to get more mainstream appeal?
That's not a question, you feel me? I'm gonna keep growing and expanding, and like, you know, one thing that people need to understand, I'm never gonna compromise my sound. Like, you know, it's always gonna be what's, like, you know, close to my heart. It's always gonna be something that I love, no matter if it's a Billboard hit or not, you feel me? Like, it's never gonna be anything like, I'm never gonna put myself in a position like, oh, I need to make a hit.
No, but for example, let's talk More Money, More Problems. B.I.G.
Right.
I love this to be.
Yeah.
That was a pop record.
Yeah, but
the
those
original
things...
No. The original song was a top 40 smash.
Right.
Even Juicy.
Right.
It was a top 40.
That's true.
That Puff was like, yo. Puff was like, yo, you gonna rhyme on these records. And Big rhymed on those records and had hits. Right. Would that happen to Joey? Are there? If somebody came to you with they chopped up a Rihanna record and was like, yo, rhyme on this right here. Word. Would Joey Badass rhyme on it?
Yeah, if I could hear myself on it, you feel me? If I'm feeling that, yes. Like, you know, the same way Big was feeling that joint. Yeah. Like, you know, you listen to those rhymes, and that's not anything that was forced. Yeah. You know,
the rhymes is the rhymes.
It may have been proposed to him, but, you know, once he did his thing on it, it came out like, you know, the best product. Like, you could tell he was on there, he had his confidence, and he loved it. But what you also got to understand, that's a whole different time. That's when you can mix, like, actual good lyrics with, like,
you can do that. I believe that can happen now. It's just nobody does it.
Yeah, I mean, because I won't say anybody does it. Well, I mean,
who does it?
Let the future be the answer to that.
Well, Kendrick does it. Kendrick does. We would say Kendrick has records that are.
J. Cole does it.
J. Cole does it. Yep. J. Cole does. And I've had an issue with this, that Kendrick record that he just put out, I Love Myself, right? Which I thought should have been a humongous record for him. Hip hop did not support him. And black radio did not support Kendrick the way I feel like they should have. Right? You got a real MC over a regular Isley Brothers sample that could have been. It was about loving yourself, upliftment, all the things we complain about.
I listened to that. I started dancing like an old man and all that. You know,
but now where's that record at right now?
But why do you think it wasn't embraced like that?
It's on my phone. It's on my playlist.
Why do I think it wasn't embraced like that? Because I believe radio stations, including Hot 97, got off the song too soon. Right?
So why I keep playing it?
It was a whole debate.
You feeling like that?
Because I don't make the controls like everybody thinks just by myself. There's a whole room of people. I'm like, they're like, the research is bad. The research is bad. I'm like, yo, we should still be playing.
That's something we all got to talk about collectively. You feel me? Like, because hip hop is the biggest music genre in the world right now, like for the last 15 years, if you will. You feel me? And us as a culture, we really need to sit down and really figure out, like, you know, what we're doing wrong, because like there's a lot of things we're doing wrong. Yo, this being the biggest music genre, it affects a lot of people. Music is something that affects people psychologically. You feel me? And I do believe that, like, you know, the higher powers is, like, you know, extorting us brothers out here, like, you know, making gangster rap the face of this hip hop thing. You feel me? And is affecting people in the streets. You feel me? Like, I see this shit firsthand. You know, like, for example, like Bobby Shmurda, I'm from the same streets, the same blocks as Bobby. Like, when I was younger and everything, when, like, you know, everything was going on in the hood, like, you know, I was right there for that. Like, I seen all of that. You feel me? Like, when all the homies was passing and all that shit, like, you know, RIP to everybody. You feel me? Like, I seen all of that shit, and it really affects us. Like, the music that comes out, the music that y'all playing on this radio, that y'all supporting every day, really is affecting these kids. Like, I don't want to see none of my younger kids, my younger brothers, nothing like that. I don't want to see them singing Coco.
So, and this is how it works.
I don't want to see them singing that shit.
And this is how it works.
Word up.
They put the records on the radio, and we've had this debate 100 times, and I'm gonna keep having it. We put the records on the radio, whether it's a Kendrick Lamar, I Love Myself, whether it's a positive record from J. Cole, whether it's any of these records, we put them up the same way they put up a Coco, the same way they put up any of these other records. Word. And they research the people's behavior to the songs. Right, but the same way the VH1s, the MTVs put these programs on, the Love and Hip Hops and all that, they put these programs on, and they base it on the people's response to the programs, because these are businesses. And you know what, Joe? These businesses don't care about the hood.
I get that. But listen, let me tell you another thing. Like, they don't care, but at the same time they have the control. They know exactly, like, they're controlling what the people are going to respond to. They're controlling, like, you know, what type of sound people are going to react to more, because they focused it on that on the last couple of years. You feel me? And that's just what it is. They molded these people's minds into feeling like that. So, like, you know, when they're saying, oh, like, you know, this is not working, just like you said, you had to cut the Kendrick Lamar record off, like, you know, shorter than you thought it was. That's because, like, you know, they done that to our minds. You feel me? Like they're gonna just assume, like, oh, all right, like.
So your point is they didn't wanna because I'm in the room and I'm saying let's keep playing this record. Other people in the room, like, the research is bad, and every time we play it, people turn off the radio. They didn't wanna do the extra.
I don't believe that though. Show us those numbers. I don't believe that.
I can show you that.
But they're there. We've argued that too.
Don't even show me the numbers. Let's just identify the people who's controlling this shit.
That's the question, Ebro, that we have a lot. Like, who are these folks?
No,
Who are these people?
Nielsen is the same people.
What is Nielsen?
Nielsen's
is
a rating
black?
system.
Is he white?
No, it's a company.
It's a company.
Oh, okay.
It's a company.
Steve Nielsen.
Yeah.
They control the television ratings.
Yeah.
Right.
They control radio ratings, and they also have a digital internet service. They control that. They look at people's behavior, not just likes on a Facebook, not clicks on a YouTube. They literally call people's homes. Hey, would you like to participate in research? Right? They leave things on people's doors. They walk up to people. Hey, we're doing research on radio. We'd love you to participate. Will you participate? They give people a little meter. It's called a people meter.
Yeah, I mean,
People
they never
care-
knocked on my door.
Never knocked on mine. Well, I can't participate.
Not on
in it.
mine.
Well, hold on.
Well,
I want to jump in for a second. I think there's a little.
But that's how it works.
Yeah.
That's
so
the
who did they
business
ask to
side.
participate though?
They do that. They go into different zip codes. They go into every single zip code around the tri-state area. And this is, by the way, this is a national thing.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's a middle ground between what you two are saying, though. Okay,
Right.
which is.
And by the way, I'm not at odds with you.
No, I know.
I
I
would
know.
prefer what you're talking
No,
about.
but
I
I think what Joey is saying though is that you're saying there are just certain factual ways this is done, and there are people who don't care. I think what Joey's saying and how I feel, and I think a lot of people feel, is we wish that those who were in powerful positions would stop.
Like you guys.
Yeah, well, not me, but yes. Would you know I'm trying?
I mean, you guys are pretty powerful, bro.
Not me. You
are though.
Okay,
you are though.
and what do I do with my power? My 2 hours every
Yeah,
week.
nah,
I do
you
it.
kill it,
I do the
bro.
most I
Like,
try.
word
Oh,
up.
and by the way, you
And
still
a lot
get
of
shit.
people appreciate
and by the
that.
way, he
A lot
still
of
gets
people
shit.
appreciate
Yeah, and
that.
he still gets shit on because he's not black, or because he's not keeping it real, or because he's Jewish, and he still gets shit on, even though
I don't
he's
think you get shit on because of that, bro.
I mean,
I don't think so. I'll be honest. I think you get shit on because you do a lot of shit that the people who listen to you is not necessarily can identify.
well, that's the problem. But here's what I was going to say.
because they
This
would
is-
rather have him playing Coco.
that's
no, not because they'd rather have him play Coco. They just might rather you be a different character. But like it
But
has,
what does that mean?
Yeah, but what do
what
you
does that
mean?
It
mean?
has nothing to do with you being white. I just think it's just certain things that you do it turns people off and shit.
I want an example. What do you
Like
mean?
the LL Cool J shit.
Oh, well, yeah.
That wasn't cool. That wasn't cool.
Joke.
But that was a joke.
But why was that?
But
cool?
it was very stretched. It was. And, yo, I'll be honest with you, bro.
I appreciate
nah,
that.
You my big brother. I love you, bro.
I know, and I
Like,
appreciate
word
that. And
up.
I know that
Yeah.
I'm
we
gonna
knew.
keep it a buck.
We knew.
It was stretched. Like I watched that shit, bro. I felt uncomfortable. I'm dead. I'm like
Okay,
dead
we
serious.
believe you. We believe you.
Word.
There's
but
two-
you gotta understand.
No, you're right.
When the hip hop OGs is watching that shit, bro.
People are probably like, "What the fuck?"
Exactly.
Listen,
exactly.
I
Imagine DJ Premier watching that video and how he feels.
No, DJ Premier wouldn't be watching that. He'd be watching hardcore porn. That's DJ Premier.
Preem, and I was about to say, Preem probably would have laughed and just turned it off. Like LL laughed and was like, "Yo, this dude's
Right,
an
but we
idiot."
knew. I know when I make jokes like that I bring my own weird cultural background, which is different to the table, and I'm
But
honest.
what's that got to
That's
do
just
with
funny.
hip-hop, though?
But when it comes to the
That got
music
nothing to do with
part,
nothing.
when it comes to the music part, Joey, what I'm trying to say is this. People, you believe and I believe that the problem is the shittier music is spoon-fed to people, whereas the good music, it's like making them eat broccoli.
Right.
And they're sprinkling the man, if you will, is sprinkling sugar on all the bullshit.
That was
There's
really
sugar
good.
on all
Okay.
of that.
All right.
Whereas I'm
Sugar
trying to
coating.
play Joey Badass,
Sugar
and
coating
people are
the
like
cocoa.
Exactly. They're like, this is broccoli, this is asparagus.
And I
don't
got
wanna
nothing
eat
against
this.
Coco or OT Genesis. You feel me? That should come in the club. I
No.
really like the way I feel.
But you don't want it to be
it's
the
just-
only thing that's out there.
Exactly.
Right.
Like
I get it.
I don't want it to be the focus thing. Like my main thing is balance.
And
Like,
and you
game
know
is
for the
really
record
balance right now.
too, where there's a Bobby Shmurda and there's a Coco, like y'all just said, there's a Kendrick and a J. Cole, right? These other records, and by the way, the Drakes, the Kendricks, and the J. Coles are bigger hit songs on the charts,
Yeah, and bigger sellers.
and bigger sellers
Which is really
than a
good.
Coco and a Bobby
know.
Shmurda and any of those things. So a lot of times we just enjoy complaining, but none of us really participate, right? None of us actually want to understand how things work. They just want to be like, nah, it's fucked up, man. Nah, they cheating. Nah, fuck that. Nah, they lying. Nah, fuck that. Well, nobody actually. We've been having a debate about the Grammys, right? The Grammys. I've been talking to them. You know what they tell me?
What?
There's nothing wrong. The problem is the artists that can vote don't register to vote. The artists that are registered to vote and could vote ain't turning their ballots in. So the hip hop community doesn't participate in the Grammy process. So why should the Grammys be like, yo, we're gonna make sure that the right album wins the awards and Kendrick gets it instead of Macklemore? Did everybody vote?
There's a
Everybody was
support
eligible.
system.
There's a system to these things. These are businesses, man.
Hey, so let's get to it. The Malia Obama selfie. So it hit the internet and she's wearing the Pro Era t-shirt. Now, did you know about this? Or do you know somebody who gave her the t-shirt?
So Listen, I just I was in Australia at the time, and I just
Malia got on that Air Force One, flew down there, met you backstage. Talk about it.
Hold on.
No, because I heard there was a connection. But go ahead. I want you to break it down.
I mean, listen. First and foremost, much love to Malia for supporting, my camp and everything. But I was in Australia, and I just pretty much woke up one morning, and I was scrolling down my Instagram feed, and like for 8 posts straight, it was like all of my homies posting this one picture, and I'm like, yo, who is this? Like, what's so special about this girl in this shirt?
So
like,
it didn't even hit you at the beginning.
It didn't hit me because I didn't know who it was. It was like like the picture wasn't the clearest quality and everything, and it was just like, it was. And I was just like, yo, what is this? And I started reading the comments and then the caption. I was just like, oh, are you serious? I wasted no time, and I just reposted it. You feel me? And like, it was crazy. Like,
and is there any updates since then?
I mean, like, it's pretty much like, like. The White House got my crib surrounded right now.
Okay,
they got my phone lines tapped.
They probably, by the way, they probably do.
They probably
Don't
do.
worry,
but it's all good. My mom's voted for Obama. I'm good. I'm Gucci.
Wait, how old is she? Malia.
I don't know. Like,
Wait, it was Sasha or Malia?
She's 17.
It was Sasha or Malia? Which one?
It was Malia.
It was Malia.
She's 17, I believe, or 16, turning 17.
And you're how old?
Me? I'm 19.
19 about to turn 20.
What are you insinuating over here?
Let's just
It
wait and
happen.
see.
It's not. It doesn't sound crazy. Like if Joey was like 25, I'd be like, yo, she's too young for you.
Yo,
Joey.
what I just can't believe is that, like, the first time anything with her surfaces on like social media is connected to me.
You're right, because there hasn't been
That's the
anything.
thing that blows my mind.
Well, that's not true, actually. I did see that she tweeted she was a big fan of my LL Cool J video. So
Oh, shut up. Shut up.
She was like, yo, that shit was hilarious. She was
Yo, Joe, if we could play another record from your album right now, what you want it to be right now?
Let's get into that Christ conscious. Let's wake people up this morning, have them like, feeling invincible and all that.
Brooklyn's here. Joey Badass is here. The album, once again, the title.
Before the Money, Tuesday.
All right, let's get to it. Still sitting with Joey Badass. Make sure you grab that album on Tuesday, Before the Money. Joe, man, I really appreciate your openness and candor. Like, I didn't know what to expect. We've probably before, but never really had an interview.
Yeah.
And I know one.
And like, shit get jaded through them devices.
Yeah.
Like, it's always better.
But I always thought you was a great dude. Like, you always seemed like a good dude.
Thank
and
you.
I would say my one.
I always thought you was an asshole.
That's fine.
That's
what
what
you're supposed to.
Nah.
You're supposed to.
I really respect your honesty though. Like, you feel
Nah,
me?
but and a lot of people don't know. Like Brooklyn is near. I don't live there, but a lot of my people are very active, and they know who you are.
Right.
And they're very active in that community with the young people and what's going on there. So I'm very aware of what's happening.
Okay.
I will say my one critique of you has always been I felt like your work ethic wasn't quite what I wanted it to be.
What do you mean by that?
I felt like you was touring. I felt like you had this cachet around you of being, feeling and sounding like one of those golden era cats with the beats that you chose for your projects and the things you rhymed about. Like I always felt like you had that, but like when that Premiere record, when you got that beat from Premiere, my expectation was like, oh, he's gonna jump in this pocket right. He's gonna lean on this, and he's gonna give me more. Energetically.
Well, you didn't like that record?
I didn't love it. I didn't think you killed it. Like now,
that's the first time I heard that because I actually like, I love the record, but I'll be honest, it's not one of my favorite records I've ever made.
But people listen, it's Premiere, so most of the keep it real hip hop world is gonna be like, yo, it's Premiere Joey Badass. Like there's nothing. I'm never gonna say anything bad about it. My expectation was probably very high though, because I'm looking at you coming on it like a J. Rue the Damager. I'm looking at you getting on that with, you know what I'm saying, something that's
but I can't come on it with J. Rue because I'm Joey.
No, I know, but energetically, the pocket, I felt like, and look, I critique music. That's what I do, and I just didn't feel like you was on the pocket. The way you laying on the Static Selector.
How much time did you listen to it?
I listened to it probably 5, 6, and I know Flex. I was even one hitting Flex. Flex, you got to play his Joey Badass. Flex, you got to get this on this sound. This is Brooklyn. He's coming up. He's doing his thing, and he's spitting bars. And we had hit it a few times, right? Like we wanted to make sure we showed the love. The way you on the Static Selector joint, I forget the name on the album. It's like an up tempo. It's got some energy.
92.
Is that what is it called?
You talking about Curry Chicken?
No, the one that came out right before that, with the number in the title. Number 96.
Number 99.
Number 99.
The Badman.
Badman.
I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
I like what you do.
Thank you. I seen you at Instagram.
Yeah.
And shout out to Static Selector, who's done a great. The stuff he's done for you has been.
So that would be my. And look, you still young.
And by the way,
going.
The work ethic for Joey has changed. I mean, I think a lot for you has changed, and this is a transition I want to make that I know is going to be difficult. Because I haven't seen you, but your cousin passed away, and Junior, in my opinion, Junior was a major part of your transformation. at least I saw a difference in you from how you handled things before Junior was around you every day as your day-to-day manager, and afterwards. And then he tragically passed away in a car accident recently. So I wanted to, first of all, I want to send you my personal condolences, because, you know, I was in LA when I heard about that the day it happened. I started hitting everyone because it's heartbreaking. He was a good man. But tell me about how Junior affected you, and if I'm right about that, and, you know, how you're dealing with that since.
I mean, like, you know, you pretty much hit it on the head. You know, once Junior came around, like, he got things more focused. You know, he really put, like, you know, the whole team on point. Like, you know, all of the pros, like, everybody, like, you know, he really got everybody on their A game, and he was always, like, you know, that cat that was on everybody's toes. You feel me? Like, just keeping everybody up to par and everything. And, you know, like, you know, now that he's gone, it's just like everybody kind of knows that, like we all have his voice and you know, in the back of our heads. Like, you know, anytime we slack, and, like, you know we just gotta pick it up. Like, I wake up every morning and, like, you know, this is, you know, Junior lived with me, you feel me? So this is my big brother we talking about. Like, every morning he would wake me up like, yo boy, like, yo, it's time to, you feel me, it's time to get up, you sleeping too much and all that. And, like, you know, I still hear that voice every morning I woke up, you feel me? Even this morning. Like, you know, and if I'm slacking and shit, like, you know, I put that extra pep in my step now, you know, because of him and shit like this. You've had a lot to deal with the between Capital Steez, who was a great member of Pro Era, who passed away as well, and your cousin, who was like a brother. That is an immense amount to deal with leading up to your debut. And you're coping, and you actually seem, to be honest, your energy is positive when I saw you walk in. How are you doing that? I mean, like, you know, it's a lot of things I have to worry about, and, like, you know, but like you know, I'm a very spiritual person, so I know when I'm like, you know, really worrying, or like, you know, when I'm really just you know, feeling bad, or, like, you know, I really want to cry about it. Like, I know that puts a burden on their shoulders wherever they are. You know, and I know, like, honestly, like, you know, they just want to see me do what I have to do. That's what makes them happy, you feel me? So I keep trying to do that as much as I can. Like, anytime I'm thinking about Junior and everything, like, it's real, like, it's really emotional for me. Like, the only thing I could really do to like, you know, not necessarily get off my mind, but, you know, just make myself feel better is work. At this point, like, you know, that's all I can do.
When you know he would want you to be working.
Exactly. You know, I owe him that, you know, like. So word up. And the same thing with Steez. Like, you know, the only thing I could do when I think about that is spread what exactly he wanted to tell the whole world, and that was basically just having everybody, you know, with an open mind. Like, you know, that was the one thing that he lived for. He wanted everybody around him, like, you know, all, like, you know, especially people in this nation that we live in, America, just be living with an open mind. You feel me? Like, cause at a point, like, a couple years ago and shit, like, you know, it was looking real slow. Looking real quiet for, like, you know, us just as a nation. Like, you know, people would just close mind, and people would shoot so many things down, and, like, you know, it still goes on today. But I think, like, you know, as a nation, we've become a little more aware and everything. And, you know, it has a lot to do with music, because, you know, like I said, music is very psychological, and the things that people listen to. So, you know, when you listen to Pro Era, you actually get smarter.
To sum it all up, well, anyways, man, I just want you to know that other people saw it, and people in the business, I think, knew the impact Junior had on you, and you wear that every day, so you should be proud of that. You know, that you took with the lessons he gave you very well. Now, Laura Stylez, you wanted to ask Joey about the mischief he's causing internationally.
When you were on tour, I think it was in Australia, I read that either you punched the security guard.
You
can't talk about
Zero?
it. No.
Oh, he's an international man of danger. Secret?
Nah, not of danger. I'm just a international bad man.
Yeah. Bad man. Yo, now I just can't stop thinking about, because also I know Joey has a West Indian background too, so I'm just picturing the people like, yo, your man Rosenberg, me see his fussy rhymes. And he had to be like, oh, Rosenberg.
Yeah, how do I defend this one?
How do I defend this guy?
Oh my gosh.
Yo, Joey Badass, man, it was great building with you, man. Yo, before we let you up out of here, man, you know, Brooklyn's listening, Tri-State's listening and watching, however they consume it. What do you want people to know about Joey Badass and where you headed, man?
I mean, like, you know, my main purpose, which I recently discovered, you feel me, is I just want to inspire. You know, I want to put people in the mind state that I have, because I think that it's a real healthy one to keep. You feel me? I think it's real beneficial.
What you said, the mind state that I have. What is that mind state?
Explain. It's real beneficial to, I think, you know, just society, period, to mankind. And like with this current album, you feel me, like, you know, with the message that I'm currently trying to push, the concept of, like, you know, this whole picture is basically, you know, I'm welcoming people to this before the money mind state. And what that really is like, you know, that before the money mind state is that time where you at before you realize, all right, like, you know, you got this goal. You got these things that you want to do. And it's that moment where you realize that, you know, you're going to do everything in your power to get there. You feel me? It's that grind. It's that hunger to get into your goal. And even once you get there, it's all about keeping that mind state. Like, you know, like even me right now, like, you know, I feel like I've attained so much. I've came so far, but I'm still in that before the money mind state. Like, I still got that same grind as if I was just, like, you know, still rapping in school and shit like that. You feel me? And, you know, I want people to apply that to life no matter what their goals are. Like, you know, if they want to be a doctor and shit, like, you know, I want them to be in that before the money mind state of it. Like, yo,
I genuine passion, that
genuine
love.
passion. Yeah, and I just want people to always relive that and, like, you know, live with that every day.
I love also that in his album title, if you see how it's written, it's before the money signs, and Joey's name is Joey Badass, but the S's are money signs. So that's what I assume the play is.
On my name.
It's a play on the fact that it was before he had the money signs, and he's just, you know, Joseph.
It's
Joey
actually,
Badass.
It's actually a triple entendre.
Triple entendre to you.
Don't ask me how.
Don't ask me because it wasn't when he did.
It was. Joey Badass.